Hello and welcome friends. Today in this video we shall learn about a very philosophical and beautiful story, The Rattrap, written by Selma Lagerlof. Selma Lagerlof was a Swedish writer who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1909 as a woman, first time in the history of Nobel Literature Prize. Dear, in this story we shall learn that the generous and kind behavior may change even the devils into gods or angels. Means goodness wins goodness, evil brings evil. So here in the story, the protagonist is a peddler who is a young person who lost his job because of a industrial revolution. Because he lost his job, he is living lonely in his house and he has no one to accompany him. The man finds his life completely monotonous and he is selling the rat traps for making his livelihood. To make the rat traps, he is not even having the wealth or the money to buy the wires. To make the rat traps, he steals wires from the fields of the farmers. He one day got a very philosophical idea in his mind and that idea amused him very much. What was the thought or what was the idea that made him amused? One day he was returning back to home in the evening time after selling the rat traps. All of a sudden an idea struck, and the idea was that we all are like the rats and the whole of the world is like an enormous rat trap. Like the rats are trapped by lucrating them by putting pork or the piece of meat or bread in the rat trap, and the rat comes there, touches it, the door closes, the rat is trapped. In the same way, in this world we are trapped in the rat trap by the physical or materialistic goods. We are lucrated towards the clothes, gadgets or modern things, wealth, money, and when we try to touch them, when we try to find them, we are trapped in the rat trap. This is his philosophy for life. Whether he thinks about the trapping in the rat trap, but he could not escape himself even to trap in the rat trap. One day what happens with him, he was returning back to home after selling the rat traps, and it was the month of December near Christmas. When he was returning, all of a sudden he found that it is late to reach home. It will not be possible for him to reach home timely. That's why he decided to take the shelter on the way. And on the way there he saw a house of a crofter, a peasant or a farmer. He saw the house of the crofter and he knocks at the door. When he knocks at the door, the crofter old man came outside and he welcomed him warmly. The crofter offered him in the house the shelter. He gave him a good food. The crofter played with the peddler the game of molish. The crofter offered him the tobacco to smoke. The crofter, moreover, was a trustful person. He showed him the 30 kroner which the man had earned previous month by selling the milk of his cow in the creamery. Now both the peddler and the crofter slept in the night. In the morning the peddler woke up and he went his way. The crofter locked his house and he went to milk his cows. But the peddler returned back because the crofter showed him the 30 kroner and he hanged those 30 kroner near the window pane on a nail. The peddler came back, he smashed the pane of the window and stole those 30 kroner of the person of the crofter, who not only sheltered him, who not only offered him the food, who not only played him the game of molish. He moreover, the crofter moreover believed the peddler and the peddler disrespected the belief of the corrupter. After stealing the money, the peddler runs away from there. Instead of taking the highway, he knew very well that if he will go on the highway, he may be arrested, he may be followed by the people. That's why he took the way through the woods, through the forest. When he went through the forest, it was early in the morning. He trapped in the rat trap because he could not locate the right direction in the forest. He kept on wandering throughout the day, and finally every time he would reach at the same place from where he would start. He was tired, he was thirsty, he was hungry. He felt that today his end was near because of stealing of the money of the corrupter. He found himself trapped in the rat trap. Moreover, he felt that it is the end of his life. In the night, the wild animals will tear him into pieces. The wild animals will eat him with brutality. Now the man knelt down on his knees and bent on the ground. As he bent on the ground, he heard some sounds coming from one direction of thumping the iron. He got a ray of hope and he moved towards that direction. When he reached, he found there that there was a forged iron works where the people were working. The light was coming through the glass windows. Daringly, he entered the forge. The head mechanic and the apprentice did not notice him because it was a usual case that the peddlers, the vagabonds, the tramps used to come there for spending their nights and getting the warmth from the chimney. No way, the peddler reached at the same place, but the iron master or the owner of the forge was a very good person. He used to visit even the forge in the night to check the quality of the production. That's why today also in the night the iron master or the owner of the forge came there and he found the peddler there as an old acquaintance, and he felt that this man who was having a long beard on the face is my old friend Captain Von Stale. He used to work in the army and he found that this was the man who served with me. He is my colleague, old colleague. And he invited him to come with him to his house. But the peddler thought, I stole the money of the corrupter. That's why I trapped in the rat trap. Hardly I could save the life of me. And if I take another chance, it may be possible I shall once again be trapped. That's why he declined the invitation of the iron master. Now after some time, iron master went to his home, but his daughter, whose name was Adela Wilmensen, she came in the forge in his wagon, in his car. She was wearing a long fur coat. She was the goddess of a good heart. The girl came there. She requested on the behalf of the iron master to the peddler to come with her. But the peddler denied. Now the girl requested him, assured him that he could go, he could leave them as freely as he came there. She also told the peddler that their willingness is only to celebrate the Christmas with the stranger or with the person who is a peddler. The peddler now accepted the invitation of the girl because of her generous behavior, and he went to the house of the iron master. At the house of iron master, the peddler spent his night, and in the morning when he was shaved, when he was bathed, the iron master at once recognized him, identified him that this is not his old comrade, old friend, but he is someone stranger. He threatened the peddler that I shall call the sheriff, I shall call the police But the peddler told him that he did not come here by his own willingness. You told him to come in the house of yours. I did not come there by my own will, but you brought me here. Now the girl Adela Wilmanson, she interrupted the father and requested the father to allow the peddler to stay there 1 or 2 days for the eve of Christmas, and the father agreed. Now the girl offered the peddler that he could have even the good nice coat of the father which he has worn. He can take it within him. Now the Christmas festival celebrated. On the next day, the father and the girl Adela Wilmanson and the iron master both went to church to offer their prayers. And when they went to the church, they knew that a long bearded man had stolen the 30 kroner of the crofter. The crofter was also an old employee of the iron master, and the iron master recently came to the conclusion that this is the same peddler who is living at our home had stolen the money of the crofter. He rushed with his daughter recently to the house. He thought that the peddler must have stolen his all cutlery of silver. But when they reached at home, to their surprise, the peddler had gone away, but he did not take anything with him. Moreover, on the contrary, he left there a gift for Adela Wilmanson, and that gift was a rat trap wrapped in a crushed newspaper. And in that rat trap there was a letter for Adela Wilmanson, in which he mentioned that your kind and generous behavior had raised me to the rank of the captain. I am leaving here the 30 kroner. Please repay or return these 30 kroner to the crofter from where I have stolen this money. Moreover, he wrote in the letter that he wanted to repay the good and generous behavior that he received from Adela Wilmanson if he got a chance. So in this way we see in the story that the peddler was a vagabond, he was a tramp who used to steal the things. But the kind and generous behavior of Adela Wilmanson in the end of the story changed him completely. The peddler was not an honest person completely. He deceived the crofter who hosted him so nicely. He offered him food, shelter, played with him the games of cards. Even he was so much trustful that he showed him the 30 kroner which he had somehow saved. So this was the story, and in the end I say thank you very much. Thanks a lot.